What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful.com here with a name you know, Joe Koff, instrumental figure in Ring of Honor. Joe, how you doing?
I'm fantastic, Sean. Thank you.
You all have a lot of shows coming up as we film this. ROH 18th anniversary, March 13th from Las Vegas. You all have Supercard of Honor on April 4th. I arguably, even beyond all those, with all due respect, I'm really excited for this past versus present show on March 14th as well, bringing back some of the historic names of Ring of Honor. You all have a pretty packed slate over the next few weeks.
Yeah, we really do. And we just came off two really, really strong shows in Nashville and St. Louis, where, of course, Roosh retained his championship back from PCO, and they would set up the Mark Haskins match, which we'll see in Las Vegas next week. So, we've really had a great set of shows, and the guys are really good, and the women are really top-notch, and good crowds, and we're excited. We're excited to be presenting these kinds of shows.
There's so much I want to get into, and I want to just jump right into it. Supercard of Honor, you all have some New Japan names set for that show. I know there have been some concerns in Japan. New Japan has had to cancel a bunch of shows due to the coronavirus. Are you all expecting that to affect you all at all, or the talent on this show?
I mean, it could. I mean, that's really up to, first of all, New Japan, and whatever travel restrictions might exist at that time coming out of the country. So it's really out of our control. Right now, we have not heard of anything. But, this is, I don't want to get political here, but this is just developing every single day. There's something new. So right now the show is on. We've had some knife request questions from fans. Is this going to really happen? And we're planning on being there. I know they're planning on being there. So that's the best I can answer right now.
And as I mentioned, the New Japan talent that's on this show, we didn't see as much New Japan Ring of Honor integration in the last half of last year, which led many to think that maybe the partnership was over. That does not seem to be the case. Was there ever any doubt that partnership would resume or continue?
Well, no. I think what is what we're seeing perhaps is that there's New Japan, the promotion we primarily work with, and then there's New Japan America. And New Japan America, over the last set of months, beginning pretty much in the back half of last year, was starting to set up their American territories and starting to do some shows on their own, independent of us. They shared some talent that we've always shared, but for the most part, it was their American guys that were wrestling these shows. So that's the main reason. But we love our relationship with New Japan, and as you're seeing at Supercard, it's right back there. So pending no travel restrictions, I think it's going to be a fantastic show. And our Supercard shows have always been sensational, usually top shows of that weekend. So I can't expect nothing less.
When New Japan announced the USA thing, did you think that would affect the relationship at all? Because for a lot of people, it came out of nowhere, but it's clear they've been planning this for quite a while.
Yeah, I listen, there's been many promotions that have started from Ring of Honor, from the foundations of Ring of Honor. And look, it's a good business, and it's a good business to be in. And I think they felt that they have an international brand, and they wanted to see how strong it would be in America. And I think they've had some good success. And we weren't surprised. They told us about it. That relationship is very loyal and very, very solid from that standpoint. So there were no surprises to us on any of that.
But you all had some buzz, especially with the re-signing of Marty Scurll and his new position. What all went into that decision? Because that can't be one that you all take lightly.
We don't take it lightly, and we're very, very excited to have Marty. But, I think it really comes down to who we are and who he is. There's no doubt Marty's a big part of our plans moving forward. He not only brings us that creative stimulation, but I think he believes in Ring of Honor. He likes what we're doing. He knows what we stand for. He represents that brand, and it's his opportunity to say to the fans and to say to his fellow workers that Ring of Honor is relevant. Ring of Honor is still present. Ring of Honor is authentic, and I want to be part of it.
And we've already seen the relationship with NWA kind of reformulate, so to speak, and he had been appearing there as well.
Yes.
Is that the type of thing that he comes through and says, hey, I would like to do that, or was that just like a collaborative effort? What
No,
goes
that's
in?
very.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, it's very collaborative, Sean. I didn't mean to
No, it's fine.
interrupt you on that. We have very good relationships with a promotion like the NWA, and we've worked with them in the past, and they like to work certain programs, and we believe that it benefits both promotions to share the talent in certain storylines that make sense for both parties. And as long as that exists, I think there'll always be an open attitude towards doing things like that.
I had mentioned Marty Skrull's new role and things like that. I think I had spoke to Cody a while back, and he had mentioned that type of thing was maybe broached with him and had very positive things to say about his negotiations with Ring of Honor and you yourself before he ended up going with All Elite Wrestling. Is that something that you all look at and say, okay, well, this person has a very creative mind, obviously. Maybe we should entertain the idea of letting them do more of this?
Oh, absolutely. Ring of Honor is a very collaborative, creative brand. We rely on our talent. We rely on our key influencers and our key people to help us shape that brand. There's a core that we're very, very true to, but stimulating progress and stimulating the brand forward takes visionaries and it takes creative minds. And I thank you for that comment from Cody. Cody was a joy to work with and a total professional and a great thinker, as were the Bucks and as were all the people that wrestled for Ring of Honor and are now wrestling in other promotions. We just really hold those relationships still in high esteem. But yes, it's part of our fabric. It's part of what we're made of. It's part of who we are.
What do you think are some of the things that Ring of Honor is doing better than anybody in wrestling right now, whether it be in the ring or from a business perspective or production or anything like that?
Oh, I don't know that we're doing, that's a really subjective question.
Sure.
Because if I said I think our production's really the best, there'd be 50 people writing you going, "Are you kidding?" So
I wouldn't want that at all, Joe.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that no matter what my answer would be.
Sure.
I think what Ring of Honor is it's a very authentic and genuine promotion. Our honor is real. Our respect for the wrestling is real. Our respect for the fans is real. And I think that we provide an experience that I hope is unique and special amongst the wrestling community. I think experiential presentations and experiential situations are so important, and they raise the standard on how you perform and what you deliver. But I welcome that challenge, because as long as the fan is having a good experience, as long as the wrestlers are having a good experience, as long as the business is having a good experience, then it's all working properly.
Ring of Honor is in a very unique situation, considering that it's owned by Sinclair, and that's a giant company, but Ring of Honor very much operates, it seems, on its own. How much feedback from show to show, week to week, even month to month, does Ring of Honor itself get from Sinclair?
Oh, we get very little. We're an operating unit of the division, of the company. They have a lot of confidence in what we do. We rely on a lot of their support systems. Mm-hmm. I will tell you that I don't believe Ring of Honor could nearly be where it is without the distribution that Sinclair affords us. Just recently, we started airing on our 21 regional sports networks that were purchased, 2 or 3 months ago, and that addition and that additional reach really, really helps. We're on our emerging networks like Charge, and we're on Stadium. So being part of Sinclair really, really helps us to expand that brand. But we're a business, and we're responsible for the business. And the nice thing about working for our company, and it's a fantastic company to work for because it's innovative, creative, is that it's ours to run and it's ours to manage, and it works perfectly like that.
Ring of Honor is pretty versatile programming too for an outfit like that, because if it airs Friday afternoon at 2 p.m., Saturday morning at 1 a.m., Sunday evening at 7 p.m., I mean, if a wrestling fan flips by that, they're probably going to stop and check it out. Meanwhile, if there's a sitcom fan, they might not necessarily stop at every sitcom that they see. How important do you think that versatility is to something like Sinclair that owns all these channels? And quite frankly, sometimes they have set programming, sometimes they need to fill gaps. there's a lot of different moving parts in a situation like that sometimes.
There are, but to be honest, Sinclair owns a lot of stations across the country, where we have over 100 stations in 89 plus markets, plus all of our regional sport networks markets. But the people who are in a specific Sinclair market, they're watching their local station. That's what we are. We're local stations. We're local broadcasters. We do local news. We do local programming. Ring of Honor is not just hodgepodge all around. It is in a time period that's pretty consistent, unless there's sports overruns or something special like that, in every market. So our Ring of Honor fan, or any wrestling fan that's interested in Ring of Honor, knows where to find that station in the individual markets. I think that strategy, which has worked great for us, and the audience reach over the course of this weekend and all those different time periods, is incredibly competitive to what we're seeing in some of the bigger promotions presenting audience. We may not catch the casual viewer because they are on it at different times. So where someone's sitting there between 8 and 10 or 8 and 11, which is the highest time periods for viewing, obviously if we were in there, we might get a better chance to catch somebody. But I think when somebody stops by Ring of Honor and just watches it, they're not quite sure, especially if you're a fan who's not familiar with it, not quite sure exactly what it is. They like it, and they don't know quite why they like it. And then as they watch a little bit more, they see the athleticism, they see the integrity, they see the grittiness of the wrestling, and all of a sudden it either reminds them of something older, or it just really, really works well for them. So, having all of these different avenues of distribution allows us to have a very, very broad reach available to people who are looking.
And an underrated aspect of Ring of Honor that sticks out to me is you all have the ability to post full episodes of your TV, like maybe a week after it airs on TV. And meanwhile, WWE can't do that for like a month in some situations, and other programs too. Is that because of the relationship? Well, not the relationship, the fact that Sinclair owns it, and they probably just want to see it grow, and that eliminates any excuse for people to not watch Ring of Honor.
Well, it's absolutely correct, and that's a very astute and well positive thought. The bottom line is that we want to give our product to as many people as possible. We have people internationally and ever who watch it on Honor Club. The shows are always available on Honor Club, which is www.rohwrestling.com. And it's a fantastic, again, consumer experience to access the wrestling, access our live stream. Yeah. Every one of our shows is live streamed. So if you're an Honor Club member and you're a subscribing member, you get to see probably 30 to 40 wrestling shows, two to four a month, that are happening live that you can experience in your own home, in the own comfort of your own home. That's a pretty unique offering, and we're really, really proud of that.
What goes into a decision like that? Because this, I believe you all started to do that last year, where your tapings would be streamed live, and I mean that's not something you can just flip a switch and go, okay, we're doing it. I mean, obviously there has to be conversations and logistics that go into something like that.
There is. It's part of our marketing. We spend a lot of time thinking about how we can market aggressively and what would be different from any other wrestling promotion that's out there. But, I think the more people that get their eyes on our product, the more believers we get in our product. And, to our Honor Club members, who are our most loyal customers, besides the people that come all the time to the shows, and we see a lot of the same people at the shows, I want to make it special for them. I want them to feel like when they're a Ring of Honor consumer or a Ring of Honor user, that they feel that they're getting their full value. And, my goal and my marketing goal and my staff's goal and everyone who's involved in the company is to over-deliver that expectation. The fan is everything. The viewer is everything. The person that comes and buys merchandise is everything to us. We don't take that lightly, and we don't take that for granted.
You all have a constantly updated roster, some of that from necessity, some of that just from like really, really good signings that you all have. Like I'll take 18th anniversary, for example. Nicole Savoy, Session Moth Martinez, Slex, Adam Brooks haven't necessarily had that national exposure. Dragon Lee, Bandito, or people that you all brought in last year have a lot of international exposure. Then you all have like veterans who maybe haven't been seen on the national scene, like Dan Moff. What goes into a decision to bring somebody in like that in this type of climate, because it is very competitive, jockeying for position with talent, maybe even to make sure you guys aren't overpaying for somebody because of the competitive nature?
Well, listen. In any kind of business, when there's competition, prices usually go up. Mm-hmm. When there's no competition, prices usually go down. That's just strictly economics. But you mentioned Slex, and you mentioned Adam Brooks, who are going to be featured in the anniversary show. We've done a very good job in bringing international talent over because there's a lot of great talent. And the talent that we bring in, and Dan Maff has been with Ring of Honor years and years ago, so he's familiar with it.
Sure.
We wrestle a special brand and a special style, and it's not only in the ring. It's in their minds. It's in their DNA. And when we're able to find a Session Moth Martinez, she's fantastic, by the way. I mean,
yeah.
and Nicole Savoy as well. I'm hesitant to start naming specific people because I can't name them all.
Yeah.
And then everyone thinks that, oh my God, why didn't he name me? Why didn't he name me? I love everybody on my staff. They all fit perfectly because that's one of the questions. How do we know? Well, we know by their work ethic to begin with. We know when they walk into a locker room, the vibe that they put off and the vibe that is felt. We're pretty good at identifying who the right talent is for Ring of Honor. And yes, I mean, I think it's constant. We're no different than any other sports team that has a core of key players that stay, and then you kind of fill in around it. Free agency here, free agency there, move to NXT, move to AEW. It's part of our business. And the business is healthy right now. And because the business is healthy right now, it's also probably priced at a higher level. So it's very good time to be a wrestler.
Now, as we wrap up, you all are bringing back the pure title tourney and revamping the women's division, so to speak. I mean, I know there were some issues with Kelly Klein last year that kind of spelled the end for the Women of Honor title. This is a new championship, if I'm not mistaken, and a whole lot of new faces. What finally went into the decision to say, okay, we're gonna go a different direction with this title specifically, or this division specifically, I should say?
Yeah, that's a fair question. I'm not quite sure it's a different. I think what happened is that we set up Women of Honor to be like a separate brand. We had different thoughts for it, maybe a splinter program, maybe just a whole separate division that operates in sync with Ring of Honor. And we found that wasn't working, and that wasn't necessarily, you evaluate, you put it out there, you evaluate, you test it, you see what you like. I think having the women's division, it's just a division of Ring of Honor. So it's part of who we are. And yes, the talent is really good. The women's talent right now is superb across the industry. And again, it's a good time to be a woman wrestler in professional wrestling because they're getting to be mainstream and they're getting to be main eventers, as we've seen in some major promotions. So we're just incorporating it, and I think the different titles are a little bit nostalgic, but they're, I think the pure title is really interesting, and I think those matches in Columbus and Pittsburgh will be fantastic. But I like the concept of it because it's combative, it's good competition. Again, it goes to who our core is, but I think this is the stimulating the progress of that brand by bringing back that kind of title, and the Women of Honor as well.
Anything that you want fans, potential fans, even lapsed fans of Ring of Honor to know as we come up on several of these events?
I would invite our lapsed fans, if you forgot how good we are, just watch it and you'll be instantly connected to the amount of energy and the athleticism and just the integrity and genuineness of our brand. It'll come back to you. It's like bicycle riding. And to new fans who've never experienced Ring of Honor, I always say come to the arena, come visit us there and experience it live, because that in itself is its own being. I mean, talk about being in the moment, talk about being in the zone. When you're at a live Ring of Honor event, magic happens at certain times during the matches when everybody's expectation is simultaneously met. There's no feeling like it in sport. And, the other reason I would tell you that I want you to come back and I want you to support it is because our guys are worth it. They're really, really good wrestlers, and they're really, really good people, and they work hard, to do their job really, really well. And, you can't fault that. When people do their jobs really, really well, good things happen.
ROH 18th anniversary. It is March 13th from Las Vegas. The next night, ROH past versus present. April 4th, Super Card of Honor in Lakeland. Then a week later, you got Columbus and Pittsburgh. A very stacked month for Ring of Honor. Check them out on Honor Club. Joe, I want to thank you so much for taking the time.
And I thank you for taking the time. So have a great day.